to my mother. Today's my mother's birthday. Well, it would have been her birthday, turned 85. She passed away 10 months ago. We're going to do a little tribute to her today because it's her day and I miss her dearly. So let's take a moment to reflect. For those of you who have lost a loved one, hopefully this will be some inspiration for you to make a tribute to them as well. All right, let's jump into this here. The ABCs. What are we talking about? The all body workout, blissful sleep, colorful diet. Hey, pretty good today. I think I did 80% on the workout. A lot of pain today. But again, what is it? Quality over quantity. So I had a really good one the limited time that I was there. Probably go back later. In terms of sleep, did pretty good. I'd say I got 80% on the workout, 90% on the sleep, but 100% on the diet. Egg whites, kale, blueberries, banana. Nailed it today. So, guys, that's what you got to be doing, focusing on your ABCs. All right, first, let me say this. I want to say congrats to these 6 states. Colorado, Utah, Minnesota, New York, Massachusetts, 5 states rather, but 6 clinics announced they would pause or discontinue transgender services for minors. No doubt their risks outweigh the benefits. We talked about that in a previous show, and I believe that. I believe up until 19, again, 21, whatever, pick a number. But when you're a child, and my mother loved children, so she would be proud of me be standing up for that. All right, how about this? How about some trivia today? Yeah, how about this? What is this? This is a telephone. Well, today is the 150th anniversary of Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. That's right. It was 4 days after his 29th birthday. And he was in a Boston lab and he called his assistant in a room nearby. And this is what he said: "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Well, we've come a long way in 150 years, but thank you, Graham Bell. It's been a great run. All right, how about this? Today marks the 26th anniversary of the dot-com boom. It hit a peak. NASDAQ went to 5,048. Well, it's up 450% in the last 26 years. It's over 22,000 now. But yeah, we talked about that in yesterday's show about my .com. The bubble burst. It was all downhill from there. And I remember there was a Wall Street Journal article that came out. I was in the Wall Street Journal. It did the deal with the Trump organization. But I remember when that article came out, it was all downhill from there. 6 months later, I went from being worth 10 million to minus 100,000 on credit cards. But hey, it was a great run. All right, how about this? Birthday shout out. Not to just my mom, but to Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone was the queen of the 90s. She turned 58 today. She turned 68 today. She's 5 years older than me. She was born in 1958. Well, let me tell you, she's had a 48-year career. Love Sharon Stone. From the 90s, I don't know. She's been in hundreds of projects, films, TV. But remember Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in 1990? And then, of course, Basic Instinct. Oh, my God, when the scene when she's locked up, that's one of the best scenes of all time, I think, crossing her legs. Basic Instinct with Michael Douglas. She was awesome. And she was another movie with Arnold, was Last Action Hero. That was from, 1993. I really liked that movie. And of course, I think one of her best movies ever was Casino. Robert De Niro, James Woods, Joe Pesci. Remember that from 1995? Well, hey, Sharon, happy birthday to you today. You've been amazing. And my mom was a big fan too. So speaking of my mom, let's talk about my mom. Rosemary DeStefano Tola. My mother was the oldest of 3 children. My grandparents came over from Sicily. So she was born here. She died here almost 85 years later. Like I said, she was a great mom. Great mom. She taught me to care for myself, to fend for myself. She taught me to do everything with passion and to be proud. No doubt. All right. Her 2 favorite singers. My mom was a disco queen for sure. She loved Donna Summer, Bad Girls, and she loved her favorite song of all time, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. She would play that song over and over again. I tell you, my mom was an original bandstand dancer going back to the Dick Clark days in the 1950s. No kidding. She'd leave Trenton, New Jersey. She said she'd get on a bus to a train to a bus to a train. By the time they got there, they danced. She was awesome. And she married my dad and, hey, had 3 kids. And now her pastime was spending time with her grandchildren. She had 4 grandchildren. But let me give you 3 stories when I remember her by. And, one of them goes back 60 years. I was 3 years old. This is a true story. Give a shout out to my best friend growing up. She's still family to me, Cindy. Sin and it was my idea. I wanted to go get some candy. So I'm like, hey, let's go get some candy. Now, we knew how to get to the elementary school because we used to go play there. And so we held hands and it was about a mile as the crow flies to go to this square deli. Never forget this. Anybody from Hamilton Square, New Jersey knows the square deli back in the 60s. Well, here I am with my best friend walking, and we walked, the two of us, 2 little kids. We cut through the school. You had to cut through a fence that was in the back. We crossed a highway, Nottingham Way, and we went to the square deli. Well, let me tell you. The cops came, they put us in a paddy wagon and drove us back. And Cindy's mom, Lorraine, rest in peace to Lorraine, she was going crazy. My mom was calm, cool, and collected. She just hugged me and said, Richard, don't do that, sweetie. I'll never forget. It was my idea. All right, how about this? Going back 50 years ago. This is in middle school. I was the first kid, Reynolds Middle School, to take home economics because my father didn't want me to take wood shop. I didn't want to take home economics. I was in 7th grade. Yeah, I wasn't bullied or anything, but yeah, that was like, different time then. We're talking, wow, we're going back a long time. But I remember my father was adamant. He's like, no, you're not taking wood shop because I don't want you cutting your arm off. Because, yeah, he knows what the hell they're doing over there. You're taking home economics. I was the first boy in middle school back, back then, 50 years back, to take home economics. And guess what? That's what my mom said. She goes, I'm going to teach you. I learned how to cook, clean, sew. I could do anything. So, yeah, for the girls that were in my class, thanks for having me in middle school home economics. All right, here's a final story. And this goes back to my days in high school. Well, aside from taking us to swim practice at 5 a.m, my mom, she was the best. She would make me lunch every day. And I had to go to baseball practice. It was a senior year. I turned 18, going back 45 years ago, waiting for my letter from the University of Pennsylvania. It's my first choice. I wanted to go to Penn, but my guidance counselor told me, don't apply to Penn. You're not going to get in. Nobody from this school goes to Penn, Ivy League, forget it. Well, guess what? I applied, and I'll never forget that day when the letter came. I came home from school because we finished at 12:30. I get home about 1:45, and there's the letter sitting there on the kitchen table. And it was just a regular sized letter. And from the University of Pennsylvania, I was so nervous. And she's like, go outside, go out on the back porch. I'll make you your favorite lunch, which was grilled cheese sandwiches, Velveeta cheese. She used to slice it. Oh, my God. So she makes me the grilled cheese, and she comes out and sits next to me, and I waited for it. I opened it. I got in. Wow. That was a good one. Mom was great. All right, here we go. So let me give you one little story how she passed away. And here, let me give you a little photo of my mom where I recollect myself. This is my mom. My mom was beautiful. She was just the best. Well, all right. When she passed away, it was a Sunday morning. We held the vigil. I was there every day. She was in the hospital. She was in the hospice for 5 days. And I didn't sleep for the first 4 days. The nurse finally came up to me. I remember 4:00 in the afternoon. She taps me on the shoulder. It was Saturday. She's like, listen, hey, you got to go home. You got to get some sleep. You look pretty bad. So, and all my other siblings and family members were there with her. So I left, and I fell asleep at 5:00. All I know is I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I just felt it. I'm like, I got to get up. I got to get to the hospital. So I get up, I go, I remember getting some coffee. I get to the hospital at 10 after 4. By the time I get there in the room, and the nurse comes out, and she's like, well, she goes, everybody left her on 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It won't be long now. And I said, hey, I remember Seal. I'm like, Seal, do you mind if I, spend some time with her by myself in the room? So she leaves. I close the door and I climb in bed with her and I hug her. And yeah, she died in my arms at 4:30 in the morning. Yep. That was how mom wanted to go. And I was there with her at the end. All right, guys. Yeah, this is a tough one, as you can imagine. But here we go. This is what I wrote for my mom yesterday. I remember I held her at the end. She took her last breath. She knew it was me. It was great. All right. So this is my tribute to my mom. It's called Ode to My Mother by Rich Tola. A rose is a rose. There could be no other. You are this lovely flower, just like your handsome brother. God made you ever sweet. God gave you all smiles. If I knew you were hurt, I would run 30 miles. You were my final destiny. You were my only mother. How can I replace you? There could be no other. In the darkness of grief, in the depths of my sorrow, your love is like the sun that shines always and tomorrow. I wish you were here now. I wish you could see me in the throes of my passion, keeping promises, living free. So go cherish your family now at the gates up in heaven, and be sure that I miss you, rolling Dad's lucky 7. Love you, Mom. Always and forever. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.